Hello everybody and welcome to Fig Fanatic. My name is Jesse and today we are doing an unboxing of the 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. He has got his big gold belt, aka the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, aka the World Heavyweight Championship, and aka the WCW title. Here he has his face. He also has his pink robe. He also has his 4 horsemen symbol of the most dominant wrestling group of all time. And I believe this is the first Ric Flair figure to feature the 4 horsemen hand signal. This is going to be sweet. Let's open it up and find out. We got our figure. We got our box cutter. Let's just dig into it. Some of these Elite figures, the Ultimate Elite figures, tend to get very pricey once they go off of the market. So I especially like to keep these, at least the boxes, pretty intact still. So again, if I ever want to turn around and trade it, sell it, whatever, the value is still up there. Here we go. So as you can see, he is all in there, nice and cozy. We'll get this little defender off. His awesome pink robe. Look at that, H boy. So we have 4 horsemen. His other 4 horsemen hand. We have his pointer finger hand. His other pointer finger hand. We have got the face. And when you're talking Ric Flair, you're talking championships. And with Ric Flair and championships, you are talking the big gold belt, the World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, the man himself, Ric Flair. Here we have it, Ric Flair. And of course, like all the Elite figures, great arm joints, although he's certainly very flexible, more so than even some of the other Elites, or Ultimate Elites, rather. He got his little knee pads. If you know Ric Flair, though, sometimes his knee pads would just, like, droop. Like, I just see more baggy knee pads. I can't explain it. So, really, if you want to be realistic, you got to drop his knee pads a little bit. Probably won't do that, but... So, he has this RF on the side there, as you can see. Looking jolly. In the face, I don't know if that comes out right. Awesome figure, the pink boots. He always wore a lot of different colors, and yet they would always match. At least for big events. I always feel like he mixed and matched on not as big events. Let's get started. Let's start putting this stuff around, mixing and matching, seeing how it all looks. We got face. That looks awesome. Sure, that's going to be the face we're going to use. Don't get me wrong, though. The other Ric Flair head sculpt is actually, like, fantastic. It's one of the better ones you'll see. I love it. I mean, me personally, I love it. It has just the perfect Ric Flair face. But the face, I mean, if you have a Ric Flair figure and you have an option, whether you're going to use the face or just a normal face, any face really, you gotta go with the face. Moving on. You're going to get the World Heavyweight Championship around his waist, right where it belongs, where it's sat 16 times. Well, maybe not specifically this title for all you wrestling nerds out there. And there he is with his belt. Looks freaking great. The true test of this Ultimate Elite figure is his robe. I'm probably going to have him decked out in the robe on my shelf because it's freaking awesome. So here we go. The robe's a little bit much. I mean, it works because his robes were a bit much in general, but kind of hard to get it to look right on him. Let's switch the hands over a little bit because if you know Ric Flair, he was always he did the kind of point hand gesture, just walking around like that. Hence the pointers. And so there he is. He has got it going on. If you really want to be cool, you can even have him representing his faction, the 4 Horsemen. Right there. The 4 Horsemen, baby. Now, the only thing I think you're kind of missing with this Ric Flair is a chop. He needs some kind of, like, hand, like a chop, like a flat hand, so you can have him chop somebody. I mean, again, I'm an adult collector. I'm not really playing with these things. They're just going to go on my shelf over there. But still, I can get the complaint that if you wanted him to be in like a chop motion, kind of out of luck. I guess you could use the Four Horsemen hand here as that, but you know, it's whatever. It is what it is. Otherwise, really cool figure. You could have him do so many different things. You could have him do, you know, his styling and profiling thing, or he's just running around. You could have him do the Four Horsemen. You could have him with the grip hands, holding his belt, holding any other object, things like that. You could have him do a mix of all kinds of different things. The purple and pink is iconic to some of his outfits. He wore a lot of vibrant colors. Even though without the jacket, it looks great. The shoulder, chest part connectors, like the side pecs, it looks a little strange. I get why they did it, because they're trying to make it so you can, you know, wind him back for his woos and stuff, if that's what you're trying to do. Other than that, though, he looks fantastic. He looks great. Lots of flexibility. Lots of different opportunities you can do with this thing. And then, of course, the Four Horsemen hand is freaking awesome. A lot of fans have been asking for that. So it's great that they actually included it in there. Basically, all in all, awesome figure, awesome price. I'm happy. Woo! 10 out of 10. Moving on now, we have got another unboxing, and that is... oh, hell yeah! We got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin 316, the Bionic Redneck, the Rattlesnake. You know, don't trust anybody, all that crap, fuck fear, drink beer, whatever it is that you're into with his catchphrases, we'll just go with that. We have got to unbox the Ultimate Edition Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, we are about to open up a can of whoop ass, as Austin would say, into this figure. Let us get this open and get started. The box was shaken up in production. I have seen a few of these on Facebook groups and things like that, on Reddit pages, where the pieces were like juggled around. So some of his pieces are in my hand here. So let's just take that as our way to get started. So the first thing we're going to look at is his mean mug face. Well, I guess not really mean mug, but still, he always had a kind of a resting bitch face. We also have his happy face, his like psychotic happy face. You know what's weird is, I didn't notice this till just now, his mouth isn't colored on the insane face, like his smile. His teeth and his tongue are the same colors as his skin. Huh, sorry, that was just weird. I just now noticed that, something you don't really like sit there and analyze his tongue. And I know this especially because, I mean, even if you look at the Ric Flair heads, you know, they're fully colored. This one is not. Thankfully, I'm not using this head. So, he has his two fingers. Austin did get up and like do the salute or whatever, but really he was always doing the salute. You know what I mean? The two-finger salute, letting the birds go, that kind of thing. Obviously, with this figure, they probably just figured technically it's a toy, kids, all that, so they didn't want a guy with a middle finger hanging out in the aisle. Kind of bullshit, I'll be honest with you, in regard to the finger and not being appropriate for kids. A big piece of me understands completely that you don't want to be having a guy flipping somebody off in the kids aisle. There's another little piece of me, though, that says, fuck them kids, I want my middle finger with my Stone Cold Steve Austin, okay? Anyways, we got a microphone. We got, oh, this also kind of fell out. We got two fists. You're a fist guy with your Stone Cold figure. We got the Stone Cold Steve Austin hat. Little clothes protector. We have his muscle shirt, or no, a t-shirt, excuse me, of Austin 316. This looks tiny. I don't know how that's going to fit. I'm sure it will. And the famous Austin vest. His WWF championship with like the blue color, which I thought was interesting. The globe belt. Personally, my favorite world WWE championship, or F, was the Globe title. That's just me. I might be biased as well, because that's when I like really got into WWF. That's what it looked like. But just to me, it always looked like a championship. Now we're going to bust him out of the plastic prison. free Austin out of here. Very cool. Has his knee brace, and even like actually is like an added on knee brace. It's not like glued into the figure or like made as part of the mold. So that's kind of an interesting tidbit on there. I dig it. His gold necklace rests on him. That is a major issue with a lot of figures with the necklaces. They'll have it and it'll kind of like almost float up. And this, it tends to rest, actually rest. So glad they fixed that. I have another Stone Cold Steve Austin figure. Is like, I think they made it in like 2014 or 15, but it's this Hall of Fame figure. Necklace looks terrible. This one looks a lot better. I still think they just use an actual like chain link of some kind. Anyways, we can mess around now with him. So here you have him with his closed fists. I think this is a very cool look on him. I think it looks great. And then clearly we're going to have him do the finger pose when he's up on the ropes. I wish this was the middle finger thing. It was not. So it is what it is. And then we have his grip hands. We'll have to see how that goes. Probably won't be using this. I would assume most people don't do that unless they have him holding his belt or something. So let's get the shirt on now. And this could be a challenge because I think this shirt looks like a baby shirt. So far I am correct. This seems like a challenge. Yep, definitely a challenge. Well, never mind. I was wrong. The material they used for it is actually pretty good. So here is him in his t-shirt. And I think he looks pretty cool. I think it actually fits on him very nicely for the most part. For what they're going for. I can see why they made it so tight, because obviously he didn't wear like super baggy shirts. So there he is celebrating. Gotta love Stone Cold Steve Austin. So what I tend to do when I have my figures hold their belts is I try to like, if they have a shirt, I try to like tuck it in there. So in this case, you can have him like tuck in his title belt so it doesn't look that weird. So you can just hold it. Otherwise it like flips out. Alright, so here we have him in his vest, which, let's face it, this is what you gotta have him in. There's no question about this. You have to have him wear the vest. It's just Austin. It's vintage Austin. If you don't have it, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Unless you're doing some kind of weird photo op thing with your toys. It's the only real way to go is to put the vest on him. So the vest is obviously very cool. It's flexible enough with him and it kind of form fits to him just like it should. It looks great. Here's him with his hat on. Probably not going to have the hat on him. I don't really, it's whatever. And of course, with his t-shirt. And then here's him with the microphone. You got to have him with a microphone if that's what you're trying to do, because he was an amazing talker doing his promos. And here's him with his little poo-poo face, his serious face. Here's him with his weird mouth face. Like I said, it just looks strange. It's a good, decent head sculpt. I just think it's weird that he doesn't have like colored teeth or anything. So that's kind of a letdown a little bit. That kind of marks it a little bit. Overall, though, I mean, I hate to give the whole thing a downgrade because of one major thing. I mean, he has so much detail here. The tattoo on his leg has never looked better. It looks incredible. It looks full, like an actual tattoo on his leg. Other than that, though, yeah, I mean, the details are great. The painting's good. Everything on him is great. I just don't understand why, God, why the mouth isn't painted on his head. I just think it's so strange to me that they did that. But, otherwise, it's a great figure. I'm a forgiving guy. I get it, and not everything's perfect, but in terms of the scale of what I'm doing here, I'm still going to say a 10 out of 10 because it has everything I could want. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give one downgrade. Okay, one downgrade. The middle finger. I know you can't technically do it. So 9.5 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. Give me the middle finger. I want him to say F you to as many people as possible. But I get it. It's, a PG show on television. It's in a kid's toy department. I understand. Anyways, of course, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin. We have Ric Flair. Woo! And honestly, this is probably the best line of Ultimate Editions they have done since they have started doing them. So I've got to give them ultimate credit on that. No pun intended. Actually, pun intended. So in terms of star power, quality of figures, I've got to say these are the two of the best Elites I've ever seen. But given they came out in one single set, I'm going to have to say it's the best Ultimate Edition set they have ever released, bar none. So anyways, thank you so much for joining. I've got to say that was a ton of fun. And please subscribe, like, share, comment, all that stuff. What did you think of the figures? Do you like, I mean, we can talk wrestling if you want. What do you think of Stone Cold Steve Austin? What do you think of Ric Flair? Is Ric Flair the second best wrestler ever? Shawn Michaels is number 1. So let's debate. I don't even care. But please, keep the conversation going. Subscribe. Hope you're liking the video so far. Later this week, I will be starting off my Kansas City adventure that I've recorded over the weekend. We're hitting up some shops real hard. And man, one of them is Can't Miss. So, take it easy. Have a great rest of your day. Have a good week. And I will see you in the aisles. Woo!